This is a production of PBS Charlotte.
Just ahead on Carolina Impact, we'll show you some of the jobs that are hurting most due to the coronavirus, as well as which continue to thrive. Plus, before they went to distance learning, many high school theater productions were in full gear. We have a special story of impact for one area student. And even though we can't enjoy theater in person these days thanks to technology, I'm sure you'll love these Cuthbertson students' performance from Big Fish. Carolina Impact starts right now.
Carolina Impact, covering the issues, people, and places that impact you. This is Carolina Impact.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Burkett. Unfortunately, the coronavirus impacts all of us, even if we're lucky enough to be healthy. Small businesses face big money problems, laid-off workers grapple with bills, and families aren't sure if their next paycheck will be their last for a while. Tonight, we look at how Charlotte's economy is coping with COVID and how some companies manage to keep working. Carolina Impact's Jeff Saunier has details.
Yeah, you can see the sign behind me here on Independence Boulevard. COVID-19 information, call 211. Please stay home, please stay safe. That's because where the virus lurks is also where the public works, which is why so many businesses have been cutting back and closing down. Why the employers that are still open are having their people work from home instead. But working from home instead isn't an option if you work in the hotel business or for a restaurant, which is where the COVID layoffs came worst and first. They're still cooking for customers here at Nellie's Southern Kitchen and looking for customers to cook for.
Shrimp and grits?
But not like this, no sit-down service, not for now. If you want Nellie's to serve up their shrimp and grits or their signature fried chicken, you'll have to come get it curbside. How many people in there right now in the restaurant?
4.
Count them on one hand.
Yep.
Nellie's executive chef, Sebastian Wells, says that's all the employees you really need when your restaurant's drive-up dining business is down 80 or 90% compared to the restaurant's regular business.
There's a difference between feeding 150 people in a day, and that's considered slow, and feeding 12 people in a day. You know, this is just unprecedented.
It's a hardship that no one is immune from. It's a hardship that no business is immune from. We had to lay off almost 40 people, most of the front of house, the hosts, the servers, the bartenders, and these are people that it's their life, it's their livelihood. We have single moms, we have single parents, we have veterans, and it breaks our heart.
We're talking with restaurant owner Kevin Jonas inside his now empty dining room while we're outside, which is precisely the problem for most sit-down restaurants.
Businesses like ours can't survive without people, and we do our best, and we will, and we'll ask, and we'll beg, and we'll plead, and we'll do what everybody else is doing to try to keep a business alive that we're proud of, and hope that North Carolina will rally around especially those mom and pop shops that are all built on heart.
All these restaurants are, for the most part, small businesses. They're locally owned, and everybody's feeling the impact.
And it's not just small restaurants getting squeezed by the disease. Big businesses are affected too, like the Hyatt House uptown, where we found General Manager Matt Allen manning the front desk of a 172-room hotel all by himself.
We have temporarily furloughed some managers and reduced hours for most colleagues.
Allen reads from the Hyatt Hotel's official statement on an empty sidewalk outside the hotel. It's lunchtime on a weekday, but uptown looks like a ghost town.
We understand the situation directly impacts our valued colleagues and their families, whose health and well-being is always a top priority.
Allen and his hotel staff have had challenges before, like the protests in Charlotte 4 years ago.
It just escalated from there. They started picking up bricks from the outside and just started throwing them at the windows and breaking all of them. So.
And the loss of the NBA All-Star Game because of North Carolina's now repealed HB2 bathroom bill.
We had, at that time, close to $500,000 on the books for that one event. Wow. all of that went away. All gone.
But nothing like this, nothing like these until further notice furloughs and cutbacks, all due to coronavirus.
Our team is working hard to continue to care for those impacted and quickly support their needs.
And for now, that's the best Alan can do for his hotel family, the best anyone can do. Here's another group of workers who can't just call it in from home. They're construction workers, building homes. And commercial projects. Digging up utilities and paving streets. They're still working at mostly outdoor job sites, keeping their distance on the job so they can stay on the job.
So I'm choosing the correct box because it shows you which box to actually pick up. Then for these types of box, I would have to tape it.
And how about Amazon, where local workers are busier than ever because of the virus crisis?
And it just goes right over it.
Where they're actually hiring more workers to keep up with all the online shopping. 2,000 new Amazon jobs in North Carolina, including 1,000 here in the Charlotte area. Amazon telling PBS Charlotte, quote, as jobs in areas like hospitality, restaurants, and travel are lost or furloughed as part of this crisis, we are excited to welcome them and offer them a place on our team until things return to normal, unquote. Yeah, before coronavirus, Charlotte's Regional Visitors Bureau said 1 out of every 9 people with a job here in the Charlotte area were working in what they called hospitality and leisure. That's 140,000 workers, a lot of them in those same hotel and restaurant jobs that are gone for now and hopefully not gone for good once this coronavirus crisis is over. Amy?
Thanks so much, Jeff. If you're a small business or self-employed, there's also something called the Paycheck Protection Program that may help you. It's part of the stimulus plan that Washington passed. It provides money and loans that small businesses don't have to pay back if the money is used only for salaries, benefits, and expenses like monthly rent or utilities. There are a lot of details to explore, and you'll find Small Business Administration information and a step-by-step explainer on our website at pbscharlotte.org. Tom Gabbard brought Hamilton to Charlotte and elevated theater performances in our city to a national level. He also created the Blumey Awards, recognizing excellence in high school musical theater. He's the president of the Blumenthal Arts and recently found out he tested positive for COVID-19. He joins us now from his home to share some thoughts. Tom, thank you for your time. We so appreciate it. You look good, my friend. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I feel good.
We're glad to hear that. Talk to us a little bit. You had done some traveling that might have put you in some difficult positions before you realized you could have had the condition.
Well, little did we realize that over a course of 7 days, I think we were on the COVID hotspot tour. So we started in New York City, where I had some meetings with the Broadway League. Then we went to London, Manchester, UK, flew back right after the travel ban was announced. Flew back to Philadelphia. So somewhere in that 7 days along the way, we picked up what turned out to be COVID-19.
So when you made it home and things were starting to have quarantine around here, when did you start seeing some symptoms, and how long did it take between that and when you received the diagnosis?
About 5 days after we got home, we had already hunkered down. I went into the office just very briefly a couple of times, but knowing that we had been in some hot spots, we decided we're just going to play it safe here and stay at home. So about 5 days after we returned from the UK, I had 3 nights where I had a low-grade fever. So, you know, less than a point above normal, but definitely a fever at night. And then had 3 days where the fever did elevate. It was in the 99 range, topped out at 100.1. And it was at that point that I reached out to my doctor and said, look, this is probably standard garden variety flu. I have aches and pains and a cough, but, you know, nothing horrific. And he said, you know, given your travel, let's get you tested. So about 36 hours later, then the results came back that I tested positive.
So at that point, what were your thoughts? Now, you've been a lot of places, seen a lot of things, just interested in how you processed the situation.
I felt like I was in good hands. It was very shortly thereafter that I heard from our county health department, who has been absolutely remarkable. So I knew I was in good hands, which is a great relief. That waiting and not knowing, that's difficult. And I think we've all experienced that. That waiting can be sometimes the worst part of it. You know, fortunately, we had already changed the lifestyle, and with that result, then my wife and I began living on opposite sides of our house, which is certainly different after 43 years of marriage to be living on opposite sides of the house. But that's been the case now for about a week and a half. And my wife has had milder symptoms, so we've gone through this together.
Now, it sounds like you might be over the worst and on your way to recovery. What advice do you have for other folks out there?
I think most of all that we need to take this seriously, and particularly when it comes to the social distancing measures the government has introduced. We need to take those seriously, and all with the goal of trying to get past this. Because I think, you know, if we take our tough medicine and do the things that they're asking us to do, we'll get through this faster, and we'll also protect the most vulnerable in our community. But we all need to cooperate. We need to take it seriously.
Tom Gabbard, president of the Blumenthal Arts, we're so grateful that you're doing well and that you were kind enough to share your story with us. We appreciate you. Continued recovery, my friend.
Thank you, Amy.
While the Blumey Awards are unfortunately canceled this year, several school productions were in full rehearsal mode before social distancing was put into place. For many students, musical theater is their family. Carolina Impact's Jason Terzi was at Mallard Creek High School before the shutdown and has this touching story.
You know the old saying, the show must go on. Well, this is one of those rare times that the show, unfortunately, isn't going on. But long before coronavirus effectively shut down planet Earth, drama students around the region were gearing up for their big spring performances and ultimately the annual Blumey Awards. At Mallard Creek High School, more than 100 actors, dancers, techs, and teachers were preparing for their rendition of The Addams Family.
So there's quite a few people involved.
One of those involved has been 14-year-old Jolie Ramser. As a freshman, Mallard Creek is new to her. So too is CMS.
I went from Cabarrus County to here in Charlotte, Mecklenburg.
Even if we hadn't, I would have still wanted her to come to school here at Mallard Creek because I love the diversity here. So I would want her to experience that.
Jolie's mom, John Maria, teaches civics and economics at Mallard Creek, but as you might expect, the transition to a new school hasn't been so easy for her daughter.
And she was very shy, didn't say a lot.
At first, when she came, she was like, "Mommy, I don't have any friends." She would come up here and eat lunch with me.
And also very self-conscious about a personal issue.
Right at the very beginning of school, she came up to me after we talked about some of our assignments, and she said, "Miss Branham, I'm really nervous. I have a stutter." And as she's talking to me, she's stuttering.
And it's not all the time.
I mainly do it when I'm excited or when I'm anxious.
It's not so much a stutter in the typical sense. For Jolie, it's more of a nervous energy that presents itself in different ways.
I just look above the camera.
Like heavy breathing.
Oh gosh, that fell off.
What she does is she has learned how to disguise it in different ways. Like you may hear a clicking sound, or you actually may hear the stutter.
It's something she's dealt with for as long as she can remember.
Ever since like elementary school, it's been a problem. I've done it all the way from when I was maybe like 6 or 7.
And as we all know, kids, especially younger ones, can sometimes be mean.
They were like, "Why do you do that? Like, why do you talk like that?" And I was like, "I can't really help it, sorry."
Speech therapy has helped somewhat over the years.
They were trying to teach me like these different kind of like exercises. It didn't like take it away completely.
But she has found different ways to, when she gets caught up in speaking, to get past it in a way that you can't really tell.
To get more acclimated to Mallard Creek and to hopefully meet some new friends, John Maria suggested Jolie audition for The Addams Family. Having never done theater before, Jolie was nervous about trying out.
My mom was like, "Why don't you do theater? in dance, but I was like, what if I'm not good at theater?
And she was like, I don't want anybody to make fun of me. I don't do public speaking. I've done dance before, but I don't have to speak in dance.
I had asked Ms. Branham if there was any parts that didn't have any like speaking roles where I had to speak.
And she sang a song, and I was like, wow, that girl, yeah, she's talented.
Well, when you're singing, you don't stutter at all. Disclosure, full disclosure, full disclosure.
Shortly after auditions, Jolie got the good news.
I was like, Mommy, I have a surprise for you. And she was like, what? And so I showed her the picture of the casting list, and she was like, oh my God, and she hugged me really tight. She was very proud of me.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's absolutely amazing because her first presentation in my class was you couldn't hardly hear her. She stuttered over her words.
After that, we all just welcomed her. She's so sweet. We love Jolie. She's the best. She just brightens up a room when she comes in.
Turns out most of Jolie's classmates didn't even know about the stutter.
They were like, Jolie has a stutter?
I was not aware until she told me.
They were like, that's incredible that half of them didn't even know that she had it.
Even when she sings, when we talk, FaceTime, I don't hear it at all.
As she's grown more comfortable over the months with her new theater family, the stutter is becoming less of an issue.
I think because it's so many of us here to support her.
I think a lot of it has to do with the family that she's built with the ensemble. A lot of them are very close. They all hang out a lot.
I feel like it's making me a lot more confident.
It has helped her all around with the stuttering, her confidence, her grades. She's happy. She's the happiest that I have ever seen her.
I think this experience has absolutely grown her confidence 1,000%. She is more comfortable speaking in front of people. She's more comfortable putting herself out into a situation she wouldn't usually do.
And I really have to attribute Jolie's success to them here at Mallard Creek. The arts department here at our school has so much to do with that. Everybody is just so embracing and empathetic of everything, and they just know how to bring out that talent in them and that confidence.
I'm in love.
Aww.
It's been said that theater in many ways is like a big family, and that's certainly been the case this school year for Jolie at Mallard Creek. For Carolina Impact, I'm Jason Terzi reporting.
Thanks so much, Jason. The power of high school musical theater has been a growing force in our region since the Blumey Awards began just 9 years ago. And Wells Fargo has been an investor from the very beginning. Jay Everett from the Wells Fargo Foundation joins me now. Jay, thanks so much for being with us. Always appreciate your time, sir.
So glad to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about the fact that we're all disappointed that the Bloomies are canceled for this year, but this really is sort of an all year round program for students to be prepared for that, isn't it?
It is. You just have to think about all the excitement, energy, passion, and hard work that students put into high school musical theater productions all over the region. And for them to be involved with that programming and then all of a sudden have it stop because they're having to deal with coronavirus and COVID-19, I'm sure it's been a real disappointment for a lot of those kids.
And just as disappointing for all of us because we so look forward to shining the spotlight on their talent. Let's talk a little bit about the fact and what you have seen as an investor over those last 9 years of the Blumey Awards. The talent just seems to get better and better, and you've often been able to be in New York City for the National Jimmy Awards, and I don't know what it feels like to watch our young people perform on that big stage.
Well, it's pretty amazing, Amy, because what you see is this incredible local talent having a platform on a national stage to go to New York City and represent this region and really give it their best. And I'll tell you, the Wells Fargo also sponsors nationally the Inspiring Teacher Awards at the National Jimmy Awards that these students matriculate to. And when you see the caliber of talent on that stage from all over the country, it really is inspiring. But there's also a certain sense of pride because students from this region seem to excel and have actually won national awards at that program. It's kind of like winning a Tony Award on a national level for these students.
And now we have several of our students actually performing on Broadway, and it's such an exciting thing. But it's not just for the students who are going into musical theater. You see a benefit for all the students involved academically as well. Talk to us a little about that.
Yeah, it's been very interesting because our foundation makes this investment because of our focus on K through 12 education and also arts and culture. And the grants that we provide for this program are at the intersection of those two things. But we do look at national research, and it shows that students that participate in musical theater programs actually perform better on scholastic aptitude tests. They have a higher rate of admission to colleges and universities and getting advanced degrees. And they also perform better in both mathematics and in subjects like English. So we know that there's a strong connection between onstage performance, the rigor, the studying of lines, the teamwork and camaraderie that's required, and the innovation in the moment, and their actual academic performance at the school level.
So Jay, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I know a lot of people are probably thinking that this interruption in the Blumey Awards may make it go away forever. I hope that's not the case. What are you thinking at Wells Fargo?
We don't want that either. We know it's such a powerful program, and so Wells Fargo has actually stepped up and said we are ready for Blumey Awards 2021, and we've made that financial commitment to Blumenthal Performing Arts, and as a matter of fact, they're sitting on the money right now and holding it for next year. So the show goes on.
And that is beautiful music to my ears. Jay Everett from the Wells Fargo Foundation, thank you so much for investing in young people in our community and allowing all of us to shine the spotlight and enjoy. And we're changing things up a little bit for this year, but boy, can't do it without great community partners like you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And WTVI is an incredible community partner in presenting this to the broader community, so we thank you all as well.
We shared our disappointment that the Bloomies have been canceled, but as they say in theater, the show must go on. PBS Charlotte will broadcast a Bloomies Tribute, past and present, May 12th at 8 p.m. Students at Cuthbertson High School took to technology to perform this next number from their musical, Big Fish.
What if I told you you could change the world with just one thought? What if I told you you could be a king? Anything you desired, boy, anything on a plate, all within your power to create. What if I said I met a witch when I was very young? What if I said she showed me how I die? Powerless in the face of it, terrified in the wood. That was where my life was changed for good. Hey, what if I said I met a giant wasted in a cave? What if I claimed I rose to be far braver than the brave? All my life was story, son, and everyone is true. So believe me as I'm telling you. Be the hero of your story to the sun. Why don't someday when you were born to run? If you understand this premise, you will never be alone. You can conquer every challenge, you can face each stepping stone. Be the hero of your story.
Okay, I just love those talented teens. We're asking other high schools to create similar videos from their productions and hope to include them in our Bloomies Tribute show. Well, that's all the time we have this evening, my friends. Thanks so much for your time. We always appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you back here again next time on Carolina Impact. Good night, my friends.
a production of PBS Charlotte.